In back segment tonight, the casualty count continues to rise in Istanbul. Close to 300 are either dead or wounded after three terrorists attacked and eventually blew themselves up. In the past, ISIS was eager to take responsibility for their atrocities, but they have not done so in Turkey or in the Egyptian jet crash on May 19th, where 66 perished. That's still being investigated. Joining us now from Tampa, Lieutenant Colonel Scott Mann, former Army Green Beret and author of the book Game Changers, Going Local to Defeat Violent Extremists. First of all, is ISIS changing their PR plan here, not taking credit for these things?
Hey, Bill, I don't think they are. I think this is guerrilla warfare 101. When it's the far Satan, like Omar Mateen striking the bar in Orlando, it's in ISIS's interest to claim it. When it's a near apostate government like Turkey, as they view it, or Egypt, and it could more directly bring a threat right onto them as a neighbor, they can send their message with the strike without overtly claiming it and kind of hide it in some ambiguity. So I don't think it's a change in their strategy. I just think it's pragmatic guerrilla warfare.
Okay, and that makes perfect sense because Raqqa, the command and control of ISIS, is just 50 miles from the Turkish border. Now, it has to be ISIS. I've looked at it from every different way, and it doesn't have earmarks of Al-Qaeda. And the other groups, they really haven't mounted this kind of organized terror. Do you concur with that?
I do, Bill, and I'm glad to see you calling it out and also calling for action on it, because I'll tell you, ISIS, more so than any other violent extremist group, they are bought into an end-of-days scenario, an ideological commitment that has them. This is the first of many strikes we're going to see this summer. It's a focused campaign. These guys aren't going away. They are ideologically committed to a level of violence that I don't think our leaders or the American people have fully got their head around yet.
Now, they want the confrontation with the West. They want, they say, troops on the ground invading and all that, because they believe that will mobilize the Muslim world to their defense. I don't see it that way. I think if NATO got involved, they could crush these people fairly quickly. The Turkish army could do it today. March the 50 miles into Raqqa. Who's going to stop them? The ISIS guys can't stand up against a Turkish mechanized force. They don't do it for a variety of reasons, because they have their own Muslim problem inside Turkey, correct?
Well, that's true, and I agree with your assessment that, standing, directly against a conventional force, ISIS couldn't do that. But I do believe that they follow a prophetic methodology of Judgment Day, and they tell us that in their own November 24th propaganda video titled No Respite. The thing about that, Bill, is when you think about an enemy's will, all the way up to their caliph, al-Baghdadi, they buy into this. They believe in this end-of-days scenario.
Let's give them the end of the days, then. Let's give them their end of the days. Because if we do that, if the Turkish army, backed by U.S. air power, and U.S. planes are already on their soil at the airport, wipe them all out and they're dead in the sand, that's a good propaganda victory for the West, is it not?
Yeah, absolutely. And look, if I thought that would work, I'd wholeheartedly agree with you. My son was 3 when we started this war, through multiple deployments, and now he's going to fight it. And I don't think the strategy of just attrition works in this sense. It needs to be done, Bill. The only thing I've seen work in this war in both Iraq and Afghanistan is striking these guys at a local level and mobilizing those folks that live in those communities to stand up against them. We did this with al-Qaeda in Iraq in 2006, and it worked under Petraeus. We did it with the Pashtuns in Afghanistan in 2010, which is what my book's about, and it worked. They're scared of this. So while I agree with you going after them, at the same time, these guys have killed more Muslims than any other religion on the planet. Let's mobilize them as well and let them do the heavy lifting. And right now, we're not doing that.
There's nobody in Syria to mobilize. I mean, that's the problem. They're scattered all over the place. In Iraq, it's a different story, and you're seeing that the Iraqis, with the Iranian help, the militias are pushing them back. But I really think a message, Colonel, has to be sent by the West. Enough's enough, okay? And I understand it might anger some other Muslims, but I think end of days, we should give them the end of the days as quickly as we can. Colonel, we appreciate it. Thank you very much. And one footnote.